Published 1730 EDT, the 7th of September 2017. Updated 1730 EDT, the 7th of September 2017. Winter is coming. Anyone who watches Game of Thrones gets that. But do you know why it is coming? Why there is some ominous, looming, if unspecified date when the Cold and the White Walkers will arrive? It's the first rule of dramatic scriptwriting. You need an internal deadline, a plot timer. You need some mechanism that is chasing your characters down. Cinematic deadlines are often obvious: 2 days to save the planet, 5 minutes so the bomb goes off, high noon. But great drama is set against the clock too. Walter White's cancer in Breaking Bad, Michael Corleone's plans rushing to beat Cuba's revolution in The Godfather Part II. Hell, The Dark Knight is just a succession of deadlines, right down to the romantic subplot. Premier League clubs have shot themselves in the foot by voting for the window to shut early. Such devices are there for a simple reason: deadlines add motivational tension. And the tighter the better. So a big round of applause for the Premier League's stakeholders, who have turned scriptwriter and certainly ratcheted it up a notch next summer. On Thursday, at their annual meeting, 14 Turkeys really did vote for Christmas. A majority of Premier League clubs decided that, no, they couldn't be trusted to get the business done in reasonable time before the season started, and no, they couldn't be relied upon not to unscrupulously raid a rival given the opportunity. So the transfer window would close the Thursday before next season begins. August 9, 2018, at 5 p.m. to be precise. So, with the World Cup final scheduled to take place on July 15, this gives English clubs little more than 3 weeks from tournament's end to cessation of business, 25 days to get all the post-World Cup transfers done. Except it doesn't. This is a unilateral arrangement, meaning every major league in Europe gets more than 3 weeks once the English window closes to unsettle, raid, negotiate and generally steal a march on the Premier League rivals. The English ban is on buying, not selling. So a squad can be weakened, but not improved. Players can still claim to be injured to force a move, agents can still make promises to wrangle the client a better deal abroad. This summer's dramas around Philippe Coutinho and Diego Costa would be no different. We just can't buy. It is quite the most foolish rule English football has passed, and there have been some contenders. You think this summer was crazy? Think about next year. Say a club are targeting a player who has had a good World Cup and is wanted abroad too. The difference being the English club have until August 9 to get the deal done, while those in Spain and Italy have until August 31. Who is more likely to be panicking and under pressure? Who is more likely to bid over the odds, to pay wasteful fortunes to agents to hurry it all up? English clubs will once more be the mugs of Europe. Players like Jan Vertonghen, for instance, could have time to move abroad after the World Cup. Take, for example, Jan Vertonghen and Moussa Dembélé at Tottenham. Both have contracts that expire in 2019 and, if agreement cannot be reached, it seems likely the club will sell next summer, rather than let either player go on a free. Yet Vertonghen and Dembélé will be in Russia with Belgium then. They are a good team and could go deep, certainly to the weekend of July 7 when the quarter-finals are played, and maybe beyond. Unless business was concluded before the competition began, when both men would still be on international duty, and preparing for a World Cup. Premier League clubs will have a month to get a deal done. Seems time enough. Yet the players could also have suitors in Spain, or Italy. And those clubs could tell an agent to hold, to wait for an offer, to let it play out. Say one was wanted in Spain. That club might have business to do, yet players to get off the books, because La Liga's window is still open. And while all this is going on at a thoughtful pace befitting a transaction in tens of millions, the English clubs would be anxiously looking at the calendar and trying to go higher and higher to force the deal. Indeed, the only way to compete would be escalation, and all caused by an arbitrary deadline, introduced because our clubs could not be trusted to behave with grace, dignity and common sense. Managers such as Arsene Wenger, who heavily backed the idea, will be powerless to stop an agreement, not even formalized, but bound by honor, that stopped Premier League clubs raiding each other beyond the Thursday before the season started would have had the same effect, without the need for red tape. But no, leave a loophole and it will be exploited. We have to be boxed in. We must be regulated. We can't just be smart by early and treat rivals with respect. Do we really think we'll be good at this? Leicester couldn't get one deal over the line this summer given 3 months. They sold Danny Drinkwater and managed to miss the deadline for registering his replacement, Adrian Silva, by 14 seconds, even with a 2-year extension. Daniel Levy will merely hold out until the last minute on August 9, rather than August 31. The business will be no different, just harder and more expensive to complete. English clubs will be at the mercy of agents, of players, of sellers, and it was also unnecessary. As Liverpool and Southampton proved, the transfer window shuts any time you want it to, really, with the utterance of one word: no. Leicester didn't get one deal done in 3 months, missing out on Adrian Silva by 14 seconds. Vardy's options run out fast. Jamie Vardy says he is still open-minded about a big move, despite rejecting Arsenal in 2016. Is that still an option, though Vardy will be 31 in January and his game relies on electric pace? How much longer will he have that? Who knows? Levels of athleticism in the modern game are so high that changes in physical ability show up instantly. The minute Vardy slows, it will be noticed, as it was for Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, even Alan Shearer. At the moment, he looks good. He finished last season well, with 11 goals in 19 appearances for Leicester and England, and began this campaign with 2 goals at Arsenal. Yet rejecting a transfer 2 summers ago may make suitors question his ambition. Vardy came late to the Premier League and, briefly, was the hottest property in it. He may now find that moment has passed. The minute Jamie Vardy slows, it will be noticed, and how much longer will he have the pace? O'Neill's miracle deserves more respect. Moaning always greets the start of the international break. Through the message boards and phone-ins, we are constantly reminded that international football is boring and roll on the Premier League. Incredibly, some of these diatribes come from Northern Ireland. Seriously, they would rather watch, in football terms, a foreign club than another miracle conjured by the national team. If Michael O'Neill takes Northern Ireland to a second successive major tournament, he is the manager of the year, no matter what happens in the Premier League. Northern Ireland were never going to win Group C because Germany are in it. But they are guaranteed second place and almost certainly a berth in the World Cup playoffs. They have won 6 of 8 qualifiers, finishing well clear of Norway and the Czech Republic. Indeed, they have conceded the same number of goals as Germany too. O'Neill's goalkeeper cannot get in Norwich team. One of his forwards actually started his career in goal and another worked as a postman while playing for St Ives Town in the United Counties League, defeating the Czechs 20 this week. O'Neill called on 2 players from West Brom, Hearts and Millwall, and others from Southampton, Leeds, Fulham, Norwich, Rangers, Blackburn, Charlton and QPR. On paper, his team would be tipped to get out of the championship. Yet here they are on the brink of making it to Russia. How any citizen of Ulster can feel more strongly about the Premier League than this band of miracle workers is a mystery. Michael O'Neill's brilliant Northern Ireland side are certain of a World Cup playoff, plus Ben Arfa finds his level. Ben Arfa burned his bridges at Newcastle, then Hull, and now, it would appear, at Paris Saint-Germain. He refused to move this summer and has been demoted to the reserve team, who play in France's fourth tier, the Championnat National 2. His lawyer is threatening legal action on the grounds that his client is being denied the level of training PSG are contractually obliged to provide, according to the rules of the Ligue de Football Professionnel. Yet the PSG's reserves play in the same competition as equivalent teams at 10 other Ligue 1 clubs, including Marseille, Monaco, Lyon and Lille. And far from not living up to Ben Arfa's standards, it could equally be argued he is not meeting those required by PSG. One imagines a queue of managers would tell the court the standard of coaching Ben Arfa's commitment deserves. He has been indulged far too long as it is. Ben Arfa burned his bridges at Newcastle, then Hull, and now, it would appear, at PSG. Harsh reality means recall for Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho is back in Liverpool's squad and could technically return to the team at Manchester City on Saturday. Some may call the club feeble for allowing it, but, frankly, what choice did they have? This is the reality now. The window wars are over. Suck it up and get over it. Coutinho, Virgil van Dijk, even Diego Costa if he feels inclined. It may seem weak to reintroduce disloyal players to the team, to put them back on bonuses, to pick them ahead of teammates who have tried hard and stayed loyal. Yet what is the alternative? Say Liverpool wanted to make an example of Coutinho, who has behaved poorly, considering his injury appeared to clear up as soon as the transfer window closed and Brazil called. What good would that do? If they are not going to play him, they might as well have sold him to Barcelona. Philippe Coutinho must suck it up and get on with it at Liverpool following his failed move. Same with Virgil van Dijk and Southampton. It is said the club wants him to prove his commitment before he is considered for selection, but there is already proof of his commitment in the rotten way he has behaved. He couldn't care less about Southampton, no more than Coutinho truly cares for Liverpool, or Costa for Chelsea. Coaches and managers will live with that. The job is to win. Match fitness may keep Coutinho out of Jurgen Klopp's reckoning, but principle won't. He knows that, once ready, a Liverpool 11 that includes Coutinho is more likely to get a result than one without. The group may have done well in his absence, but everyone knows Coutinho's worth to the team. That is why Liverpool fought so hard to keep him. It is the fans who will bear resentment longest. Not forever. At Stamford Bridge, the hostility towards Cesc Fabregas, Diego Costa and Eden Hazard over the sacking of Jose Mourinho subsided once performances picked up, but fans don't actually forget, even if they might forgive. Old Trafford was never quite as warm towards Wayne Rooney after it was claimed he asked for a transfer, and the support for Coutinho at Anfield will also be conditional. He has picked his matches and so will they. If he plays well, they will be on his side. If he doesn't, they will remember this summer, and understandably so. Anthony Joshua should beat Kubrat Pulev, but the fight may not be the spectacular mismatch build. The odds make Pulev as big an outsider as Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson, but he has only lost once in his career, a defeat that required one of Vladimir Klitschko's finest displays. Pulev went toe-a-toe that night, but he is unlikely to make the same mistake this time. He isn't a big puncher and his style is limited, but it could be more of a grind than a firework display. Joshua is rightly favored, but this is one to get through, rather than prance. Anthony Joshua is favored to beat Kubrat Pulev. It is one to get through rather than a prance. Arsene Wenger's sums are not exaggerated. If Alexis Sanchez leaves Arsenal on a free transfer, the cost of keeping him this one season is roughly £140 million. In the credit column, there is the £6,070 million Arsenal would have got for him, and in the debit the £7,080 million it will cost to replace him. So while the fee for Sanchez' replacement may only be, say, £70 million, the swing between the columns doubles that number. This is a significant financial gamble and only pays off if Arsenal are very successful this season, are recouping some of the loss with competition winnings. No sign of this positive projection so far, however. In many ways, compared to keeping Sanchez, the £92 million bid for Thomas Lemar was a snip. The Irish Turf Club reviewed jockey Davy Russell's punishment for punching his horse, King's Dolly, and increased it to a 4-day ban. Better than the initial caution Russell received, but still a disgrace. In reassessing the case and reaching such a tame conclusion, the Turf Club proved it was reacting without sincerity to public pressure. The sentence had no conviction, no ethical motive and no feeling for justice at all.